You said there's a mort box? Oh, over here. Thank you.
All right, mic check 1 2 3. Mic check 1 2 3. It is Friday, May 9th. We're here at Joe Creason Park for the press conference with Mayor Greenberg. Mic check 1 2 3 4. All right, everybody getting audio? Good deal, good deal. We will more than likely be doing more audio checks as more people arrive, but it's good to know that the people who are here are receiving good audio. Check, 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 check. Gonna do a quick mic check. 1, 2, 3. Mic check. 1, 2, 3. If anybody's not getting audio, let me know. All right. Mic check. 1, 2, 3. Mic check. 1, 2, 3. Here at Joe Creason Park on May the 9th. 1, 2, 3. Mic check. 1, 2, 3. Is everybody good on the white balance? Mic check. 1, 2, 3. No problem. No problem at all.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this beautiful spring morning here at Joe Creason Park. Thank you all for gathering for us in one of our amazing local parks. Today, I'm announcing that the proposed tennis and pickleball project at Joe Creason Park will not be moving forward here. Last night, we notified the nonprofit group proposing this project. Now, we will continue to focus on other investments in our amazing park system, and we will identify other ways in another location to create a world-class tennis and pickleball court here in Louisville. This is why we have community engagement. And I want to thank everyone here today and everyone who has made their voice heard during this process. By listening, I loudly and clearly heard that our community wants more world-class facilities for tennis and pickleball. Louisville also wants more world-class facilities to host large tournaments for soccer, lacrosse, field hockey, baseball, softball, and more. And I loudly and clearly heard from neighbors around Joe Creason Park that this proposed project should not be built here. This shows the process worked. The community's voice matters. We started talking about a new tennis center here at Creason Park because it seemed to make sense, given the history of competitive world-class tennis that took place here. If you can imagine, this park was once home to a tennis arena that drew the likes of legends like Arthur Ashe and Jimmy Connors. At my insistence, the nonprofit group planned 2 public meetings to get community input and feedback on their proposal. The first of those meetings was Tuesday evening. The second meeting was supposed to be held tomorrow. However, based on the feedback that we heard on Tuesday night, in addition to other feedback before and since, it is clear that our community has serious objections to this project in this location. So yesterday, I and the nonprofit group agreed that there was no reason to move forward with a second meeting on Saturday morning. The process worked. Your voices were heard. Your concerns were raised. Supporters were heard. And we listened. I want to thank everyone who participated in this process. The nonprofit group that proposed this the project at Joe Creason Park is interested in looking at other more suitable locations across our city. And during this process, we've also learned about at least one other proposal to build a world-class tennis and pickleball project that's being proposed in the early stages at another location in Louisville. I'm excited to support the development of a facility elsewhere in our city that will attract locals and visitors. Louisville needs to have more world-class athletic facilities to create even more reasons for people to visit our city. We need to keep considering big ideas, and we need to continue our historic investments in our amazing park system. In just over 2 years since I've been mayor, I'm proud to have supported and invested more than $12 million to help deferred maintenance at all of our parks. We've opened or completely renovated parks in every corner of our community. Last year alone, we completed 25 projects. We've improved accessibility at playgrounds, upgraded restrooms, added cameras, lights, free Wi-Fi, walking trails, pickleball courts, spray grounds, and other amenities at our parks, all over the city. We need to continue to work together on these investments. We need to continue all of this positive momentum that we're seeing in our park system and that we're seeing all across of our city. Thanks again. Thanks again to everyone who participated in this process, including my Louisville Metro government colleagues. Louisville's future is bright. For now, it's back to work. Back to work on a new plan at a new location. Thank you all very much. And I would now like to introduce Councilwoman Josie Raymond, who has a few comments as well. And following Councilwoman Raymond's remarks, we'd be happy to take any questions from members of the media. Councilwoman Raymond?
Thank you all. I'm Metro Councilwoman Josie Raymond. I'm very proud to represent the people and the green space of District 10. I want to thank Mayor Greenberg for really listening to you all, right? I want to thank the neighbors for coming out Tuesday night. Was that the most incredible, inspiring thing you've seen in Louisville? I want to thank the organizers of the Save Joe Creason movement, Lee and Stefan and everyone else who wasn't assigned to reach out to me. And I hope that the community that you all have built and the momentum that you all have created can be continued, right? As we turn Save Joe Creason into Spruce Up Joe Creason and work to make improvements to the existing tennis center and the slab. I appreciate you all coming out. I appreciate the genuine passion and community and the goodwill that you all have given to us and that you have created during this process. I know we can keep it going to create improvements for all of us. And now we've got to figure out what to do with the hundreds of donuts that I ordered for tomorrow morning.
Bring them out here to the park. Bring them out here to the park. Have people
party in the park. See you soon. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, Councilwoman Raymond. And now I'd be happy to take any questions, as I know Councilwoman Raymond would as well, from members of the media. We'll just go this way. Let's go across. I think that, there were a lot of good ideas that were proposed, many by folks that came to these community sessions, others that came to us through various ways, and so we'll be evaluating a lot. I don't want to get into specifics right now. But we're going to look at a lot of different locations and see who wants to step up and take the lead on some of those. That matters as well. You'll have to ask Bellarmine. I don't know at this point. So the question was about surprise by the community engagement. I was pleased by the amount of support. I mean, this is community engagement. I was insistent on community engagement in this process because we want to hear. And yes, there were more people that showed up than I thought, and there were more opinions on this, and there were louder opinions. But that's what community engagement is all about. If you're not going to genuinely listen to people during the community engagement process, I mean, then you shouldn't have it. And I wanted to have it because I thought it was important to listen. And that's exactly what we did. I thought this was a good idea when it was first proposed to us. I thought this was a good idea because of the history of tennis at this facility, and that, what was the current condition of this part of the park. But clearly there were loud voices with lots of reasons for why this was not the right location. And so it's time to take that input and move on and find a better location.
May I add?
Oh, sure.
Let me just add that the community engagement piece should have happened a lot sooner in this process. I think we've learned that. And that when community members had the chance, they made themselves heard, right? Loud voices with very, very good reasons, an awful lot of expertise, right? And I just want to reiterate that nobody should underestimate the people of District 10 or the people of Zulu.
That's right, yes.
Zulu.
I've learned a lot through this entire process. And so moving forward, we'll be doing things a little bit differently. And I think that's going to be healthy and important. And we responded to a big idea that came proposed to our office. And I want people to continue to propose big ideas to us. I think that's important. That's how we move our city forward. And they're not all going to happen, and that's okay. I do think community engagement early in the process is important. We've learned a lot from this process, and we'll move forward with different ways, but we're going to continue to look for big ideas to improve our parks in many different ways, to improve other places in our city, all over the entire city, to continue investing in our city. Hold on. Okay, hold on one second, Isaiah. I'll get to you next. I mean, we've learned a lot through this process, and we've heard a lot of great ideas beyond this proposal to improve this park. This is an amazing park in a very important neighborhood, in a very important location in the center of our city. And so we'll take all of that under consideration as we move forward. We'll continue listening with the community engagement. We still want to sort through everything that's come through. And I think working with Councilwoman Raymond, we will come up with some ideas to seek feedback from the community on about what's next for Joe Creason Park. For right now, we need to continue maintaining it as an amazing park that it is.
This movement was never anti-tennis. This movement was never anti-pickleball. We believe in recreation. We believe in sport. We believe in community, right? And that's why you have so many supporters here of the existing Louisville Tennis Center. I want to thank Pete McGrath, who ran this center for more than 2 decades and remains a resource to the city as we work to rebuild it.
Yeah, I'll just add to that. I mean, that's clear. I mean, the passion for tennis and pickleball in this community is strong. I just earlier this week, opened up 6 brand new pickleball courts and 2 tennis courts at Fern Creek Park. The community wants more facilities like that, and we'll find more ways to do it in appropriate fashions. Isaiah? When did I know? The question was, when did I know this project was a possibility? I can't remember the exact date, but this project was proposed to us, and we had a lot of conversations on it before this began. I always viewed this as the beginning of the process. I think that's one of the disconnects out there. I understand why it didn't feel that way. From my perspective, this was always the start is there as a proposal. But again, I've learned a lot from this process, and we'll move forward with other projects in a different fashion. I'm not sure I follow your question, but I think I knew about this proposed project for quite a while, maybe even before April 24th. I'll have to go back and look, but it's been a while. But there was a lot of work to do to even get to a phase where I thought putting a proposal out there for feedback was even appropriate. But again, it was still the first inning of the project from my perspective. I defer to others on that. I'm not even 100% sure what all the official or unofficial relations were there. I mean, I heard a lot about them, but in terms of what that actually was, I defer to other people to answer that question.
So you didn't know that the head tennis coach at Bellarmine?
No, I was aware of that. I was aware that they might be one of the many users of this facility, but that part in and of itself did not trouble me. Well, I think, again, as Councilwoman Raymond said, it was clear that this was not against tennis or pickleball, that there is huge support for both of those sports in this community. There's tremendous support for more great world-class athletic facilities in our community. But the biggest takeaway for me was while there were a lot of different feedback that was proposed, the size of this project in this location posed a problem. And I think that was a hurdle that was insurmountable. And that's why, as opposed to continuing to try to make it work when I don't think it is going to be able to make it work, given that insurmountable hurdle, it's time to look at other locations that are more suitable if we're going to build a facility of this size.
May I? Then I'm going to lift up some concerns that the neighbors raised, and the neighbors raised really critical questions about the environmental impact this could have had on the Louisville Nature Center, one of our gyms right here. The neighbors raised important questions about the impact this could have on traffic with the Louisville Zoo and the Louisville Mega Cavern here. And the neighbors raised critical questions in nearly every area about the size of this proposal, and we're not able to get adequate answers. And that's why I think we're moving on from it.
Mayor Greenberg, I voted for you. I've been generally supportive of you. I found out about this project about 13 months ago. Since then, I've emailed your office about 18 times regarding this. I've called your office numerous times. Nobody's ever replied to me. So one of the things I'd like to ask of you is, how can I trust you going forward when you say you've learned from this if you don't even respond to people about this specific issue? I know you knew about it over a year ago, but nobody's ever replied to me. Pat Multihill ducked my calls until he was out of office. It was a shame the way this went down, and I'm very disappointed in you, and I'm going to have a hard time voting for you in a primary or a general election if you can't earn my trust back.
I hear you. I understand that. First of all, there is no excuse for our office not responding to acknowledge any constituent outreach to our office. So for that is not correct, and we need to do a better job of at least acknowledging all input that we receive. So I apologize for that, and I will work with my team to ensure that improves. We have gotten a tremendous amount of input on this, not just from the community meeting, but by emails, but by calls. And again, I'm here today because I listened. I heard loud and clear that there were a lot of comments, as Councilwoman Raymond raised. Some of those, I think, were insurmountable. And so why continue with the process? It's time to make a decision and move on, continue to find other ways to support tennis and pickleball at other locations, and bring the focus back to what I think all of us here today, everyone who is involved in this process, agrees on, is we have an amazing park system, and let's invest in it in ways that the community supports and that continues to make it one of the amazing, unique gems of our city. And that's what I'm going to continue to focus on. I'm okay, Kevin. I'll take a few more. I'm okay. I mean, I'm here today because I listened to each and every one of you and the hundreds and hundreds of neighbors that showed up. If this process was not handled appropriately, I've learned a lot. I'm sorry that there was that we are at this point, and we will move forward on other community projects with earlier community engagement, because I think that's important that the community be listened. And not everyone is always going to agree on everything, but I have learned a lot from this process, and we'll be moving forward in different ways. And I thank everybody for their input, and I heard you loud and clear.
Mayor, so I know that Bruce approached you with the idea, but once your administration decided you were interested in redoing or revitalizing the tennis center here, was there a reason you didn't pursue like a public bidding process, and will you pursue that in the future with like a different tennis?
Well, again, this is one of the things that I take away from the process, is that we were pushing to have a more fully defined scope of plans before we sought public input. In hindsight, we should have sought the public input earlier, and so we will proceed in that fashion moving forward. I'm not aware of what the circumstances are surrounding being ignored by LMPD. I'm aware that LMPD was involved in the search for her. I'd have to get more information, and I'll circle back with you on a response to that. Well, I think the ball is in their court. If they need to decide if this is something they want to continue to pursue. And if it is, let's hear what those proposals are, and let's quickly get some early community engagement on other sites before we get to the point that we got this point in time. Similarly, there might be others that are looking at opportunities for tennis, pickleball, or other sports as well. We want to make sure that we get community engagement on proposed locations for developments like that before we get to this point on future projects. I'm aware of those accusations. I don't have any details on what the accusations are other than they're accusations of discrimination, but I'm waiting for more details to understand what those accusations are. Of course, I take all accusations of discrimination extremely seriously in both the public and private sector, and so I'm waiting to learn more about those details.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you all very much. Have a great day, and I'll see you out here for some great runs at Joe Creason Park. Thank you.